And let's round our comments, our presentations out with Beth Glenn, who is the National Education Director at the NAACP.
Thanks, Michael. It's really great to follow such a distinguished and knowledgeable panel, and they've already covered a lot of the things that I'm going to whip through pretty quickly here. But I've been asked to talk about the policy framework a little bit and some of the implications. And we start from the perspective that we believe Gloria Ladson-Billings was right when she said we do not have an achievement gap, we have an education debt. And it's the historical and socio-political decisions and policies we've put in place that create that debt. And we think one way to begin paying off the debt is by buying underserved students more time to learn. This is an opportunity issue because increasingly if students are expected to learn more, then they ought to have more time to do so. From the NAACP's perspective, we look at extended learning time like any other resource equity issue. There's a reason that they say time is money, right? So we want to talk about some of the benefits, the cost, and the policy implications of buying additional time for students. But first, I've been asked to say a word about the critical needs of high schools in this area. Now, there are certain barriers to why extended learning time isn't used more often in high school settings. First, that they're older students, and particularly in high poverty schools, they have to work, either to support their families of origin or families of their own. Also, there are the traditional structures of cherished extracurricular activities that have been built around the school day, like band and chorus and yearbook. Finally, teachers in high school have a more specialized subject matter expertise, and this means it's difficult for another teacher to maybe pinch hit for those students, for those teachers, and free up additional time. It's also more difficult to find other surrogates from community-based organizations or from outside the school that can fill in for those teachers and extend the day. So we see that it's costly, it's complex, and it conflicts with other features of high school many times to extend the learning day. Despite that, the benefits are worth it. We've heard from some of our presenters that we're buying students time to stay on track. There are clear positive impacts on the credits that are earned toward graduation and on graduation rates, as Betsy mentioned. We're buying students time to improve achievement. After school has been linked to significant gains in standardized test scores and reduced behavior problems. We're also buying students time to build employment and citizenship skills, as we've heard David discuss and Lupe discuss. If you combine classroom learning and workforce training, it's been linked to improved work habits. It allows for paid work opportunities like apprenticeships, as David was just describing, and it links work not to just menial labor that many high school students are qualified for minimum wage, but it links work to learning. Finally, extended learning time allows for service learning and volunteerism opportunities. And these are citizenship skill building activities that increase voting and community participation. So we're buying time to build citizenship skills as well. We've heard some about the benefits of graduation. It allows time for students to engage and follow their passions. That promotes higher attendance. It also reduces the risk of dropping out, teen parenting, and other risky behaviors. Time to catch up. It allows students to have time for remediation, to perhaps repeat assignments, and that reduces the overall risk of course failure. We're buying also time for students to succeed. Coursework becomes more challenging and more specialized again in high school, and that means kids need more one-on-one time, and they need more focused tutorials and more co-curricular activities that allow them to apply what they're learning in school in another setting. So, extended learning time is also particularly important for poor students and students of color. We've seen that expanding the school year can combat summer reading loss, which is a huge problem for poor students. Recent research out of the Baltimore Public Schools shows that 2/3 of the reading achievement gap between ninth graders of low and high socioeconomic status can be traced to either what they learned or failed to learn over the summer. So it's an opportunity to make up that gap. Extended days can also combat the narrowing of the curriculum. This is a problem that disproportionately affects minority students and students in low-performing schools. There's pressure to raise the test scores in these schools, and there's also pressure to focus on core subjects that are being tested and often at a low level. Extra time lets Students have enrichment. They can explore other subjects outside that core, and it allows for more thoughtful and expansive teaching methods. It lets teachers and students explore topics more deeply, and again, link to student interest, which links to more engagement. So, combating reading loss, increased graduation chances, and expanding opportunity are all key to communities of color that are facing dropout rates of near 50% in some places. Extended learning time is also important because it provides space for the relevance and relationship-driven education that Lupe talked about, that are found to be featured in schools that succeed with students of color. Relevance is key to engagement in high school. We've also seen that relationships are key. Lupe talked about some advisory type systems that can keep students on track to graduate and help them plan for post-secondary success. Students of color are also disproportionately found in schools with less experienced and more out-of-field teachers. Extended learning time can help solve that problem by allowing teachers to collaborate and create integrated plans for student success. It allows teachers to perfect their lessons and to look at student work. And this can help improve a teaching workforce that might otherwise be less effective. And rethought time also makes settings with struggling schools more attractive to teachers who might not otherwise want to teach there.